My most anticipated horror movie is finally here, and I am at a high right now, guys. I'm at an all-time high right now from this movie. I have so much fun watching it, and I just have some things to discuss, so let's get into it. Hey, what's up, hardheads? Welcome back to my channel, and today we are talking about Halloween Kills. It's finally there. After a year-long wait because of the pandemic, we finally got Halloween Kills, and I just have to say, guys, I enjoyed this movie so much. I had a good time. And before I get deeper into this review, this is going to be spoiler-free. I'm going to do a spoiler video maybe right after this, hopefully very soon, because I have some deep things to talk about this movie, and I can't be too vague about things anymore. So I'm just happy to do a spoiler after a non-spoiler. So yes, let's talk about the carnage that happens in Halloween Kills. Halloween Kills pick up right after Halloween 2018 because this is obviously a sequel. And going into this movie, we all know that this is going to be a lot different than 2018. 2018 was more tame. It introduced us back to Michael Myers. It introduced us back to Laurie Strode and her family. Especially with a title like Halloween Kills, you have to expect a high body count, and you should know that this is going to be a crazy ass slasher film, and I think we were all excited for that. I went into this movie already knowing not to kind of take things too seriously, especially considering, I'm not going to say slasher films because we're not going to devalue slasher films, okay? Like, we all love slasher films. There's actually slasher films out there with awesome storylines, so we can't go in saying, oh, well, we just here for this kills and that's really it, and the rest of the movie is going to be trash. We can't always do that because there are legit slasher films that have good storylines. So in this one right here, I expect the storyline to be cool. We're still on the storyline with Michael Myers and Laurie, but we all going into this knowing that the town now is involved. There's going to be mobs. Everybody's looking for Michael Myers because of what he's doing to their town. And being as though that, you know, Michael Myers is well known in Haddonfield, especially what happened 40 years ago, you expect these people to react the way that they're reacting. You already knew that this is going to be all about the kills and the murders and things like that, but you still want the storyline to be just right. And for me, I felt like the storyline was okay. It wasn't the best. Before I go deeper into that, let's get into my pros of this movie. Right off the bat, when this movie started, we get John Carpenter's score, Cody Carpenter, Daniel Davies. They understand the assignment when it comes to Halloween movies. And I mean, obviously, come on, John Carpenter is involved, so you have to understand the assignment, because if you get it wrong, I mean, well, it just wouldn't fit right. The opening title was just awesome. I love a good opening title with the pumpkin and the score playing in the background. It just got me all the feels. And even before then, when you see the logos from the different companies and stuff like that, you just hear John Carpenter's score behind that. It's getting your anticipation ready for this movie. So it does a great job getting you ready. Y'all, the flashback scenes in this movie, mwah. I really felt like I was in 1978 again. I really felt like they did a great job taking us back to 1978 and the events that happened with Laurie Strode and Michael after he was shot out the window by Dr. Loomis. It kind of picks up right after that. They take us back to 1978, trying to capture Michael Myers again, and we get to revisit the Myers house, and this house is just, it looks great. It looks great. You could definitely tell that they put all their hard work rebuilding this house and kind of just, you know, just giving us what we want as fans. So you can definitely tell us for fan service, but if you're going to revisit 1978, you have to introduce the iconic Myers house. And then Michael Myers himself in 1978, it looks just like Michael Myers. It's crazy. So shout out to the actor who's playing Michael Myers in the 1978 scene. But did such a great job picking up right after Nick Castle portraying Michael Myers in 1978. So shout out to you. And I actually think that the flashback scenes might be one of my favorite scenes in the movie, just because they did such an amazing job taking us back there. And you could definitely tell they put a lot of work into it. And it just gave me all the feels, all the nostalgia. So I think it's one of my favorite scenes in the movie. Other things I really liked about this movie too is that we got some returning characters. I mean, obviously we got Laurie Strode, her daughter Karen, her granddaughter Allison, but we also got some characters from 1978 back. We got Lindsay Wallace, played by Kyle Richards. You know, Kyle Richards is now a famous housewife, and it's just awesome to see her back in Halloween and actually having a bigger role. And I was actually excited to see what she was going to do in this movie, and she actually made me happy. So shout out to Kyle Richards playing little Lindsay Wallace, because Lindsay, I mean, come on. Lindsay was a little asshole towards Andy in the first movie, but I mean, she made up for it in this movie, so okay. We also got Tommy Doyle back, who's played by Anthony Michael Hall. We got Nurse Marion Chambers, who's played by Nancy Stevens. And we also got some returning characters back from Halloween 2018 who have very small roles, but is back in this movie and have a bigger role. We have my good friend Carmela McNeil, who plays Vanessa, the sexy nurse, and we have Michael Smallwood, who plays her husband Marcus. Now, these two characters I actually really enjoy, and I wish we got a little bit more of. I enjoyed seeing these two banter back and forth. I really believe that these two characters were married, and just to see them in the midst of all the chaos that's happening in Haddonfield and trying to get home before more chaos break out, I really enjoyed these two characters, and I'm actually happy that they came back and just gave us an awesome performance. I actually talked to Carmela about her role as Vanessa the sexy nurse a few months ago, so if you missed that conversation, I'll put the link up here. Also got Lonnie Elam back, who's played by Robert Longstreet. Such an amazing actor. Love what he did with Lonnie here. He actually gave some depth to Lonnie in this movie, which I enjoyed a lot, because I actually despise Lonnie for picking on Tommy in Halloween 78, and he actually seems like a better person in this movie here. So shout out to Robert Longstreet. He did such a great job playing Lonnie Elam in here. Now, Michael Myers in this is absolutely brutal. This is what we were waiting for Michael to just wreak havoc, just go in on everybody, and that's what he absolutely did. And I feel like he's a lot scarier in this movie. And I'm not just saying that because he's doing all these crazy kills. There are some legit scenes in here that are super suspenseful, and that was missing in 2018. I feel like 2018 wasn't very that suspenseful, and they fixed that mistake with this one. There are a few scenes that are very suspenseful involving Michael Myers, and I literally got goosebumps. I literally got chills. Another thing I like about this movie is how Michael Myers was lit throughout this whole entire time. Because in the last movie, we kind of had some missed opportunities of shooting Michael Myers in the way he looked in 1978. Now, granted, that's a totally different movie, but if you're going to pick up right after 1978, you have to kind of give us that same mysterious Michael Myers. You know what I mean? You have to light him the right way. He has to walk the right way. He has to kind of move the right way. And half those things were right, except for him being lit the right way. And with this movie here, him being lit a certain way, and the way he looked and the way he moved and how the atmosphere looked around him, that was true Halloween, and that added to the suspense. The suspense scenes of just him hiding, suspense scenes of him just lurking in the woods, maybe even chasing after somebody with the music playing in the background. It gave us those same feels that we loved so much in 1978. There's so many things that add to a scare and add into a suspense scene. And when they did that in this movie, I felt like they did it right. It was something missing in 2018, and they corrected it in this movie here. Did I mention the kills in this movie? Because the kills in this movie were glorious. I loved every minute of it. Michael went in, he did what he had to do. Now, some of the kills they had in this movie I wish was in 2018 version, because 18 was a little bit more tame. This one, just balls to the wall, murder, carnage, whatever you want to call it. Michael just went in. Now, I get it. Every time this man is about to be killed, or maybe even killed, maybe he's rejuvenated, or maybe he's re-energized, or whatever you want to call it, repossessed by something else that give him more strength, and he just go on to a bigger and deeper rampage. And that goes into my theories a little bit later. I'll talk about that in a different video, but it's, you know, Laurie said it herself in the trailer. Every time Michael kills, he transcends. And now at first I was saying you really can't take that literal, because I mean, that's probably just some type of fancy speech that she was given, because he is a monster, you know what I mean? He's not supernatural. And they made it clear in Halloween 2018 that he is a human being. But now after watching this movie, I really feel like Michael is more than just a human being, because he does not die. He does not die. You know, a lot of things happen to this man, you know what I mean? Even some things that happened to him in 2018, he probably should have been dead, but he just doesn't die. And he has to die some way, somehow, and you just have to find the right way to do it. And I really hope we get that very soon. That's all I want to say. Now onto my cons, speaking of Michael never dying. They mention a lot in this film that, you know, evil dies tonight, which I get it. Evil should die tonight, you know what I mean? But There's a lot of moments in this movie here, especially the dialogue felt very preachy, and I really felt like these characters wouldn't actually say these things. It really felt like they were reading like poems from a book in a way. It was really, really weird. And I mean, I get it if it's coming from Laurie a little bit, because I mean, she's kind of obsessed, but also traumatized, and so she kind of knows. But when you hear other characters talking that way, it's just like, wow, like that's a bit much, homie. Like that's a little too much. So that was one of my gripes in this movie. It's just the dialogue just didn't feel realistic to me, and I literally chuckled in the movie theater a couple times because I'm just like, why are they saying this? Like it doesn't make sense. Another issue I have is the pacing of this film. The pacing, it's kind of all over the place, if you want to say that. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is a movie. You know, you have to put things together in order to give us an actual story. But I feel like the pacing and how drawn out certain scenes was kind of just took me out of it a little bit, particularly the scenes in the hospital. I mean, granted, a lot of the scenes in the hospital was great. And when you get into the mob mentality in this film, it's kind of a bit much. Now, I get it. Mob mentality can be crazy because, you know, people are influenced by other people's actions. But there are certain parts in this movie where, you know, a character was being pointed out for something, and I just didn't feel like it was believable, and it led to something that shouldn't have been led to. And I get it, that seems kind of emotional, and I guess they wanted to have some type of emotion in this movie, but I felt like that scene, I feel like if they took it out, it would have still been the same movie, and I would have been okay with it. But I guess they just want to show how people act when they're under this amount of pressure, when they're, you know, they're angry, and they're also sad, and people's being murdered, and they just follow whoever's actions, and it lead people to the wrong decisions. I get it. It's social commentary is a big thing, but I felt like it was misplaced, this movie, and honestly, I felt like, why put it in? I understand that you want to have people talk about certain things, but I just felt like it wasn't the right moment in this movie right here, and it just kind of took me out, especially with the pacing. It was a bit choppy. It was all over the place, and I don't know, it was just one of my biggest gripes. But overall, guys, Halloween Kills was a blast. I had a good time watching this. It was my most anticipated for 2020, and then it got pushed back to 2021, and now we're here talking about the movie. It's finally here, and I'm really, really happy for it. Again, I have issues with this movie, and I'm pretty sure upon second watch I'm probably going to find more, but I also feel like I'm going to find more things I like as well. So I love Halloween Kills. I give it a 4 out of a 5, a hard head watch. That might be a little bit high, but look, I love Halloween so much. Halloween 1978 is my favorite movie, and I really felt like they got the essence of Michael Myers down. They got, you know, the atmosphere down in this movie. They finally got it right, because 2018 just kind of missed that, and I believe they fixed it just a little bit with this movie here. And the kills were just amazing. It was fun. The humor was set in the right places. Again, 2018, their humor was all over the place. In this one, I legit laughed at certain scenes, and I think they just did an amazing job just doing that. The characters that we've seen before are now front and center in this one. We get to see more of their personality and see them shine. And we just overall get a fun slasher movie. Again, a lot of people think this movie is all over the place. It's a mess, blah, 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 blah. But guess what? It's a Halloween movie, y'all. Have a good time with it. It's fun. I'm sure that you guys want to end up liking it probably later down the line, because I feel like there's some Halloween favorites out there that people probably hated in the beginning, and now all of a sudden is a fan favorite maybe 10, 15, 20 years later. And this may be one of them. So for me, I enjoyed this movie. I really recommend it. It's out in theaters right now, and also on Peacock. So if you got Peacock and if you feel uncomfortable going to the theaters, then check it out on Peacock. Watch it there and enjoy the movie. It's such a good time, and I absolutely love this movie. So yeah, check out Halloween Kills, everybody. Let me know what you guys thought about this movie in the comments below. I'm super, super curious. I'm still high off this movie, guys. So I'm going to watch this movie a second time to prepare for my spoiler review, so we can get into the dirt and stuff about this movie, and just the good stuff in this movie as well. I'm gonna dig deeper because I think this movie is worth talking about. So check out Halloween Kills. Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you're new, show your boy some love. Thanks again for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.